Hey, if you like this video, make sure to follow me on social networks. Also, you can download the audio-only version if you want. Hey. Hello. So, I'm pretty excited today because we just released a new developer diary update for Skywind, and it covers music, concept art, voice acting, 3D modeling, scripting, sound design, and animation and effects. So it's pretty cool. I am a co-director for voice acting, as well as in charge of sound quality assurance for voice actors. So I'm pretty busy a lot of the time with Skywind stuff. Recently it's been a little bit less work for me because I have to wait for people to finish the scripts, but that should be finished this December. So then work will be picking back up, and I'm very excited about that. By the way, yeah, this is an ASMR video, just self-speaking, because I wanted to talk. I hope you don't mind. So, I guess I can go into depth about the voice acting, because that is where I have my that is my work. That is what my work revolves around. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll already know that I've tweeted out the developer diary. But if you don't, well, I'll link it in the description, so you can click and go and watch that after this or at some point. It's super impressive. It's really nicely edited. And anyway, the voice acting. So what I do, right, let me walk you through the steps of what I do for voice acting. We have gone through different stages of planning on how to handle the voice acting, how to handle the scripts and the dialogue. So the way we've improved dialogue is twofold. One, we've done grammar checks on the original files, so we've checked all the grammar, and there's a couple hundred lines that could be improved. We had a proper grammar professional go through and check all that. Other than that, we have written idle banter lines. So that means about 10,000 lines, or about 150. Well, no, they wouldn't be that long. You're probably looking at around 80 to 100,000 words written for idle banter. And what idle banter is when characters in the game are just casually going about their day, they'll sometimes break into conversation with each other. And so you'll be hearing people talk about different things that are going on just in the background when you're walking around. And the reason why we had to write lines for that is because that didn't exist in Morrowind. Back in Morrowind, they barely had any voice acting in the game, so that's why we have to have voice actors in the first place. So, yeah, and then we assign all those idle banter lines to certain characters. There's thousands of characters, so there's a lot of work to do. but most of them are generic, so it's fine. It's about 800 or so characters with unique dialogue. So we add the idle banter to most of the unique, or yeah, I think most of them are unique. Maybe not the unique ones. I guess they are silenced with the generic ones. That would make more sense. See, I didn't handle that part, but I know that's what they're doing for dialogue. Anyway, so they'll assign that to the generics, I suppose, and so when you're playing the game, you'll hear conversations all around you. And I think the way they've done it is so as you progress through the game, they'll be talking about different stuff that may very well have something to do with your actions, which is quite cool. They might also be hinting at different things in the world. So the way we are handling voice actors is we have a forum set up with, you know, different threads that are all for each individual race. And then in that thread, in the first post, we have lines for male and lines for female, and an explanation and sometimes an example of how to do the voices and the accents. So people use those resources. We also have an audio editing tutorial up for people to improve their audio for the auditions and the final recordings if they're accepted. And what was I going to say? My mind just went blank. Right, yeah, so we listen to those auditions and then we give feedback and tips on how to improve, and then we've picked out voice actors that work and some that don't. We've said goodbye to the ones that don't. We've probably denied about 1,000 or so voice actors and taken on about 100, so it's a little bit less than 10% acceptance rate. But that's because a lot of people record with their laptop microphones and they don't really try. So another thing is, now that we have so many voice actors, 100, which is more than Skyrim had, we can afford to be a lot more strict because it's not as urgent as it used to be. So at this point I think we're gonna stop taking on regular auditions. I'm tired, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop taking on regular auditions and rather reach out to voice actors. So we'll find people on YouTube who have good voices. Like we've already reached out to Gassy Mexican and Kibception, Youngye, Humblebee, a few YouTubers that we believe have really nice voices. And that's probably the way to go from now on. But if people do have really good voices and are good at acting, have good equipment, then of course we'll say, alright, we'll accept your audition, because we're not going to just let talent disappear or go away. But we just don't have the time anymore to dedicate to thousands of bad voice actors. We can't keep teaching them the same stuff and saying the same stuff over and over, because it's very rare that they ever do improve, which is sad, but that's the way it is. We'll tell them to do one thing and they'll just post another audition. And it'll just be the same all over again, and that's not something we have time for anymore. Not that now we're going to start recording. So I'll be handling 100 voice actors and about 50 sound quality assurance staff. And I'm hoping that people will not disappear, because they do have a tendency to just poof. It's not paid work, it's all free, so you know, sometimes you'll just find people lose interest, they burn out, you know, whatever the reason. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you go check that video out, and I hope you enjoy. I'm sure you will. It's really cool. So I'm sure that this was such a short video. I'm just really tired. I've worked quite a lot today, and you know, with the video that has released, I've contacted I don't know, about 10 different media sources, you know, online magazines and whatever, to get them to cover the game. So over the next 1 or 2 days, you'll probably see a few online magazines cover the latest Skywind developer update. So that's cool. Alright, I hope you enjoyed, and if you're planning to sleep, I hope you sleep well. If you did enjoy, make sure you like before you fall asleep, and if you didn't, then you're probably not watching, but if you are, a dislike. It would also be nice if you could tell me the reason for your disliking, so I can improve. If your feelings are complex, so you want to give feedback, maybe you want to make a request, you can go ahead and hit the comment section, or you can tell me about your day. I don't mind. If you're new, then by all means check out my channel for more content, and make sure that you consider subscribing as well, because I really appreciate that. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.